Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Marcus. Welcome to my guide for Dark Misfortunes Hard. I would say this dungeon is kind of like the opposite of the last dungeon, Dragonclaw, where for this one, the trash felt pretty fine and chill, but Denvel actually did a lot of damage to the tank. So going into my talents, I did the trash and I started out with actually the Resolute Breath Smasher build, and I would recommend it for the trash. It felt pretty fine, felt pretty safe. But as soon as you get to Denvel actually does a lot of damage to you, and I even died the first time I pulled him. So I recommend going back to a more defensive build. What I opted to run was picking up the boss damage reduction and going down to smash support. It's a very defensive, very chill build. Something like that. Maybe pick up this if you want. But yeah, to recap, do the trash. You can use the Resolute Breath Smasher build and you'll be fine. It's not that dangerous. But once you get to Denvel, you should be really defensive. The boss does a lot of auto attack damage. But with that, let's get into the guide. Alright, let's get into it. So this trash kind of reminds me of Goblin Slayer a little bit. Just because of the layout. Like, each mobs are separated by rooms. So you can't really pull the next pack. So what you can do is you can just pull kind of in a straight line. You'll see a group of mobs, or you'll see mobs in a room. You can just pull that whole room and it's usually fine. I'll show you a bit here of my using the Resolute Breath Smasher build. This pull is actually randomly the most dangerous I felt. But yeah, as long as your healer's healing you, you'll be able to jump auto, and just keep smashing as the Heavy Guardian, and it felt completely fine. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a bit. It's very obvious what you should pull. See, another room, another group of mods, so you can't really go any further at all. One thing I will note is, you can see on the top left here, my Void Corruption is going up. You're gonna get this during the boss as well, and to reset this Void Corruption, you're gonna have to interact with these pylons. You can see the blue pylon in the middle right here. If you walk up to it and use your interact button, it'll get rid of the Void Corruption for everyone nearby it. And keyword nearby it, that's gonna come up later during the boss. Before I get to Denvel, this is the pull right before the last pull. Once we're done with this, we're going to be finished percent. I'm going to show you. As soon as we finish this pull, I quickly go into my talents to reset all the Resolute Breath things to go for a more defensive build. If you're doing something like what I'm doing, I do recommend this. You can do this as soon as you finish the count, and then have your teammate go pull the boss. It'll teleport you anyways. So here I'm just doing my talents and letting my team run for me. And now they're going to teleport me over. So very chill if you want to switch builds, pretty easy. Getting into Denvel himself, like I said, he does a lot of damage to the tank, but the mechanics itself are not too hard, but you have to respect it. You can see on the left, your Void Corruption keeps going up, and you are going to have to refresh it at least once during the fight probably. With our gear level and the difficulty of his scaling, he doesn't really last too long, honestly. He doesn't have enough HP. So you're going to quickly bring him to 70 where he does his first phase here. Usually, anyone can do this, I think, but usually it's the tank. You go in the middle and press your interact key, and now you have to spam a button. And what's happening here is, while you hold up this button, your teammate needs to block the black balls from getting to you, but they need to let the golden balls go to you. This is because the corruption is still increasing. You can see that on the top left here. And it'll only go down if a golden ball touches whoever's holding up the sword. Moving on to a second phase, he's going to split the room in half, and ideally you have everyone on one side already, because whenever you cross the wall, it's going to do a bunch of AoE damage to the whole group. So you need to cross the wall all at the same time. So I'm going left, and hopefully a lot of my team is left. You see that those two bursts of AoE is because someone crossed the wall. I'll show it again here. That's why you want to try to start on the same wall. Someone's going to cross, they take damage, cross again, that's damage. That's when someone crosses. Yeah, the boss does a lot of damage to the tank, so you should be very defensive. I'll say it again. And my team actually decided to use the pylon back there because they ran out of, or they were running high on corruption. I should have been there as well. My corruption is gaining up. I'm going to be fine though, I can touch it later. And the first mechanic you're going to see here is he just cuts part of the room. Simply go to a safe slice. The next mechanic is he's going to target two players probably not the tank with these arrows, and these arrows mean that you want to get farther away from the other guy with arrows. So hopefully they spread out as far as they can, and they shouldn't die because of it. Yep, they just take some damage. Someone did die, but that was, I believe, because they had too much corruption right here. And I'm actually gonna cleanse my corruption. In this mechanic here, he's gonna choose a room to slice, and what you gotta do is you gotta stack up at the wall and get ready to cross. You don't want to cross one at a time because, like I said, it does a massive amount of damage when you cross. So you want to cross together and just have one burst of damage. So I'm waiting for the team. They all cross, and it's just one burst of damage. Someone rezzed and crossed, so it was another burst of damage. Yeah, the boss really doesn't have enough HP at all, so we're gonna clear this even with the healer down. Okay, just to show you some more mechanics, I brought up another clip here. He's gonna target 2 people with the big red circle. This circle means you need to drop this out. This is the indicator for it. You need to run out with it, and you're gonna leave a puddle. The puddle lasts the whole fight, so ideally you don't put it on a purifier or put it on the boss itself. Put it somewhere in a corner where there's nothing there. And the puddle drops, and it's gonna last there forever. So sometimes the boss will jump to the other side of you, as you see here, and if you're lucky like that, then you can just stay here and not have to deal with crossing over the wall. The purifier does have a cooldown on it, and it has a range, so ideally you do like go to the purifier, start jumping, try to get your team's attention, and they can group up and you can all touch it together. But yeah, that's Darkness Fortress Hard. The boss does a lot of auto attack damage, but it's pretty easy because he doesn't have enough HP. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.